What if Kobe never wore the purple and gold and remained as a Hornet? What if Michael Jordan decided not to pursue a career in baseball and didn't retire at his prime? What if CP3 never got injured and instead played in the pivotal Game 7 of the Rockets-Warriors series 2 years ago? These are some of the biggest what-if statements in the NBA world. In today's video, we wanted to dive into one of the biggest what-if statements out there, which is, if the 1992 Dream Team led by Michael Jordan played the 2008 Redeem Team led by Kobe Bryant, all in their primes, who would take the win? Both teams have their respective cases to be hailed as the best lineup in history, and if this matchup would have ever happened, it would have been the Dream Team matchup of the century. So before we cut to the chase, let us first have a quick rundown on how these two teams were built. The USA men's basketball team has been annihilating the international scene since its inception in 1936. Team USA already snagged 9 gold medals out of the 12 Olympic tournaments prior to the events of the 92 Olympics. Not bad, eh? Throughout the course of their international dominance, Team USA is primarily composed of young college and amateur players because FIBA imposed a rule that specifically bans NBA players from participating in Olympic competition. In the 1988 Summer Olympics, the almighty Team USA suffered its worst defeat in the hands of the USSR team, as they almost got booed out of the podium by finishing 3rd in the tournament. In the following year, then FIBA Secretary General Boris Stankovic proposed a change of rule that will allow NBA superstars to join Olympic meets. After several deliberations, the sanctions were finally lifted and got a vote of 56-13 in favor of the change, which seems pretty weird for USA basketball, cause they actually vote against it. If the rest of the world is looking for one person to blame for unleashing well-experienced, genetically superior basketball athletes into the wild, then you can put the blame on Mr. Stankovic for that. Anyway, so after their bronze medal boo-boo in '88, USA Basketball asked the NBA for some much-needed reinforcements. And oh boy, they got much more than that. The NBA provided a helping hand to the USA Basketball by lending not just regular NBA players, but the ones that are considered to be the cream of the crop. In the 1992 Olympics, the USA men's basketball team featured the best collection of talent ever assembled in team sports history, which led to the formation of the Dream Team. The lineup was highlighted by the 3 legends of the 80s and the 90s, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. Meanwhile, the rest of the team doesn't lack any star power at all, as elite players like Scottie Pippen, John Stockton, and Karl Malone were inserted into the roster too. The Dream Team also got the services of the Admiral David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, and Sir Charles Barkley to bolster the team's inside presence. And finally, they added the reliable shooter Chris Mullin, Portland's Clyde Drexler, and the Duke University star Christian Laettner to round up the once-in-generation star-studded lineup. The Dream Team was good as advertised and dominated the competition as expected, winning by at least 44 points and scored at least 100 points every single game. Although Jordan played as the good guy in Space Jam, the Dream Team was clearly the monstars in this edition of the Olympics. The beatdown went so bad that the opposing teams decided to take photo ops before, during, and after the match instead of actually competing with them. It was more of a meet and greet rather than an actual basketball match. The Dream Team won the tournament handily by routing the Croatian squad led by Toni Kukoc in a 32-point blowout, 117-85, capturing their 10th gold medal and re-establishing Team USA's position in the top of the international basketball food chain once again. After winning 2 consecutive gold medals in the succeeding Olympic tournaments, Team USA was faced with a familiar pitfall once again, coming up short in the '04 Olympics and the FIBA Americans Championship in '06. Despite having an NBA-packed lineup, these versions of the USA team were filled with young and inexperienced players as the elite stars decided to withdraw from the pool early on. Another key reason why Team USA wasn't able to bring home the gold was due to the increasing level of competition in the international scene, as the rest of the world was slowly catching up with the Western powerhouse. In the 2008 Beijing Olympics, USA Basketball needed to be saved once again. Team USA completely overhauled its recruitment process from the ground up, starting with hiring the Duke coach legend Mike Krzyzewski as the team's shot caller. From there, several big names who played in the past edition of the Olympics rejoined that team, from the likes of Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Dwyane Wade, and Jason Kidd. The biggest game changer, however, was when the late Kobe Bryant decided to suit up for Team USA for the very first time. After that, lots of NBA superstars followed Kobe's lead. from the likes of Chris Paul, Chris Bosh, Deron Williams, Carlos Boozer, Dwight Howard, Michael Redd, and Tayshaun Prince to complete the ensemble known as the Redeem Team. Despite not winning a huge margin against their Olympic opponents, it was a mission accomplished for the team as they bagged the gold medal by beating Spain in a tightly held affair, 118-107, and the road to redemption was finally completed. Now that we know a little of the backstory for both teams, let's dive into the matchup. For the Dream Team, they'll definitely be starting their best player on the roster, Michael Jordan, on the shooting guard spot. Playing the point will be the 6'9" Laker legend Magic Johnson. To provide some flexibility on defense, the Dream Team inserts the two-way threat Scottie Pippen at small forward, while Charles Barkley gives the Dream Team energy and hustle on both ends of the court on the 4 spot. And finally, David Robinson will serve as the anchor in the middle as he's considered to be the best rim protector for the squad. On the other side of the fence, the Redeem Team assigns Jason Kidd as the primary playmaker for the team. On shooting guard, there's no better matchup with MJ aside from the late Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Mamba. Meanwhile, the 23-year-old Lebron James takes care of the wings, while Carmelo Anthony plays the agile stretch 4, and finally wrapping up the Redeem Team at the center position is going to be Dwight Howard. So to recap, here are the starting lineups for both squads. For the Dream Team, you got Magic, Jordan, Pippen, Barkley, and Robinson. For the Redeem Team, you got Kidd, Kobe, LeBron, Carmelo, and Dwight Howard. Do you agree with me with these lineups? Let me know your thoughts. Who should be the starters for both teams? So with that settled, let's take a look now on the head-to-head matchups. The Kidd Magic matchup at the backcourt is one of the must-see battles if you're in for some passing wizardry. These two floor generals were at their best during their primes, but on this matchup, I would pick Kidd over Magic on this one since Kidd was averaging a double-double in the 08 season while Magic had just come out of retirement in 92 after being tested positive with HIV. On the shooting guard position, we have another surreal matchup between Kobe and MJ. Both players have mirroring style of play, and they were at the height of their powers as Kobe won the MVP in 08, while Michael had just won second consecutive NBA championships in 92. In terms of stats, Kobe has averaged 28.3 points per game in 08, while Jordan averaged 30 points a game during the 92 season. As much as I want to pick the Mamba, his airness has the clear upper hand on this matchup. Now, on the 3 spot, we got an exciting matchup between LeBron James and Scottie Pippen. I took Pippen over Larry Bird for the starting role since Bird was already at the tail end of his career. On top of the back injuries, there's no other player that would be a better matchup against a young LeBron James other than Scottie. Both players are walking triple-doubles and can play multiple positions at the same time. LeBron averaged 30 points, grabbed almost 8 rebounds, and dished out 7.2 assists in the 08 season, while Pippen averaged 21 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. Although Scottie is considered to be a top-tier defender in his glory days, there's no stopping the L train on this matchup. On the power forward spot, we got a battle of undersized power forwards. Carmelo Anthony versus Charles Barkley. Both Melo and Barkley can shoot from the outside and have the explosiveness when attacking the rim. But in this matchup, Melo stands no chance against the rampaging double-double machine known as Sir Charles. Finally, we will finish the starter matchups with the Admiral versus Superman, David Robinson versus Dwight Howard. When you look at the stat sheet, the numbers are pretty close actually. In the 92 season, Robinson has averaged 23.2 points and 12.2 rebounds, while Dwight has averaged 20.7 points and 14.2 rebounds in the 08 season. But as the premier defensive anchors of their respective lineups, we have to take block shots into account. And that's why I'm picking David Robinson on this one with 4.5 blocks per game over Dwight's 2.1. With all these things considered, I believe that the Redeem Team could hang around and compete toe-to-toe with the Dream Team because of their versatility, athleticism, and youth. But on a sad note, that wouldn't last long when the subs come into play. The bench of the Redeem Team only has one remaining big man left in Chris Bosh, and Carlos Boozer would just be a backup support on this one. On the other hand, the Dream Team still has 2 prime big men at their arsenal, in Karl Malone and Patrick Ewing, waiting to be unleashed. You can argue that Dwyane Wade will salvage the Redeem Team starters as their surefire 6th man, but the Dream Team has their own 6th man in Clyde the Glide Drexler, to offset D Wade. And even if you combine the backcourt prowess of Chris Paul and Deron Williams, that would still not be enough as the Dream Team still got the NBA's king of assists, waiting for John Stockton at the sidelines. And to cap off the matchup, the Dream Team still has two lethal marksmen in Chris Mullin and Larry Bird at their bench. It's almost even embarrassing to compare these two legends with Tayshaun Prince and Michael Redd. Overall, the Redeem Team has the advantage in speed and athleticism, but the Dream Team has the edge when it comes to depth and experience that the younger Redeem Team lacks. In the end, I think the Dream Team would defeat the Redeem Team by double digits. To put this conversation to rest, let's try putting it in a numbers perspective. The 08 Redeem Team had 1 MVP, 32 A11 NBA appearances, and 38 A11 star selections in their roster. The Dream Team? Well, let's just say they got 9 MVPs, 61 A11 NBA accolades, and 67 A11 star appearances combined with their lineup. If these numbers don't send shivers down your spine, I don't know what will. Who do you think will win this colossal matchup between the Dream Team and the Redeem Team? Let me know your thoughts on this one by dropping your comments below.